Okay, squad, we are back. We've got a load of questions from the Q&A box I put up on Instagram, so huge thank you to everyone that sent in a question. I'm going to pick you through my favourites of the ones I can actually answer on camera. Obviously, once we filtered out all the engine comments, we were left with about 10. So, right. So I've got a good one here. Any tips on getting sponsors? Basically, I've been very blessed. I've got some great sponsors on board. You just need to market yourself well. You need to hold yourself well, appear at comps, do well, but at the end of the day, you need to win trophies. Sponsors want to see you win trophies. They want to use you as marketing. So be yourself, be authentic, be personable, meet people, mingle. Just do as much as you can to get yourself out there in a positive light. If you're seen on Instagram like bitching and moaning, it doesn't look good. Like, I try and avoid that sort of thing as much as I can. Like, be as positive as you can. That's my main message. Obviously, Mitch Hooper's lift heavy, be kind. I think that's absolutely bang on. Like, just be nice to people, talk to as many people as you can, and just don't be afraid to ask. Like, the worst thing that's going to happen is they say no. Shane from MST made a great point on this before about stuff like OSG and like getting out to OSG. Like, these companies have massive budgets set aside for marketing. So the worst thing you can do that is just not ask. Like, if you ask them and they say no, move on. But you know, you got to be a bit cheeky in this game sometimes. So that's my tips on getting sponsorships. Like, just be consistent, compete as much as you can, and get yourself around the faces that are going to be recruiting. Favorite breakfast of champions? So for me, I'm not a big morning eater really. So when I was working in the office, I was driving, I used to just make a big shake, which would end up being about 1,200 calories. Shout out to Ryan George for showing me that one. But for me, I just love cereal, man. So any like bad cereals, like my cheap breakfast, which I'll have the odd weekend. But my breakfast every morning at the minute is 100 gram of porridge oats, and then we're doing 6 turkey rashers and 4 eggs. That's pretty much standard for me. I'll have that every day with a glass of orange juice. And it sets me off perfectly. Go-to/favourite meal the night before a comp. So this really varies for me actually. Whenever I go to a comp, I try and get an Airbnb as opposed to a hotel, just so I've got the option of cooking and having a bit more comfort than you'd get in a hotel. But obviously some comps, they provide hotels, etc. So it does differ. If I can't cook my own food, I'll go out for a pasta or a pizza or something like that, big carby meal. But I always say to my clients, like, don't change anything on the run up to comp. Like, you know, I'd be on a carb load normally, but I wouldn't be going out smashing like dirty food, stuff like this. Like, it doesn't sit right with me. I try and keep my nutrition as clean as possible. So it'd normally just be big old bowl of pasta. We do tortellini quite a lot. That's a great little carby snack. But anything like that, I don't eat loads. I'm not a huge eater. So, you know, a big bowl of pasta and I'm good to go. So someone's asked, any advice on rolling thunder training? That's quite a specific question, to be fair. Main thing for me is mixing up those rep ranges and the times you're holding for, okay? So make sure you're going heavy and you're really stimulating the forearms, and you pretty much, you can train to failure on grip pretty consistently, and it improves quite nicely. So I'd be doing a lot of accessory work. So again, this is where I said before, you need to be training your pinch grip, okay? So make sure you're pinching. If your thumbs are weak, that's what's going to allow the spin. So don't just train rolling thunder, get on different axles, fat grip dumbbells, use fat grips for all your accessories and stuff, and you'll just note that your general strength is going up as well. A rolling handle is very sort of uniform, whereas if you can get fat grips on a dumbbell and you're curling and moving it around, your hands are going to adapt. So just do as much with fat grip as you can, make sure you're doing pinch, and your rolling thunder is going to go up if you're consistent with it. Another person's asked, do I personally use deep grip and wrist flexion on farmers or fingertips? So this is something I'm actually quite passionate about at the minute. Like, you saw Mitch Hooper at Worlds tore all his calluses off, and I've seen him saying in videos that, you know, the bar needs to be right below your thumb. Completely disagree in my opinion. That grip, a lot of people call it monkey grip, so when you hold a bar, it's in your fingertips, can get incredibly strong. Like, I'm talking like hanging with hundreds of kilos. So when I'm doing farmers walks, I'm grabbing straight down, the bar is sitting in my fingers there on the top calluses, and then I'm wrapping round over that. If you set it higher, you will note that whenever you finish farmers, it's slipped down to that position anyway. So why would you start where it's going to take all the skin with you? Start in that position, lower in your hand, And it also, Josh Lancaster covered this off in a post a while back, it gives you another 1 or 2 inch range of motion less when you're picking up the farmers as well. So it's less of a pickup, and it's a really strong grip, and there's less risk of tearing your hands. So it takes a bit of getting used to. You need to work on it. Watch my other grip on my 3 favorite grip exercises, and that will cover off all the things you need to be doing for it. But I carry farmers walks in my fingertips. Right, no prizes for guessing who's asked this one. Who was the handsome man with the ginger beard and the iPad you talk to a lot? So, Mr. Ben Joyce is at every competition. He does all my competitions for me. Best scorer. I love you a million, Ben. And yeah, I'm only giving you a feature because I love you, basically. Someone's asked me, how does it feel to be a celeb? So, I am not getting above my station at all. I'm very humble. I do not think of myself as a big name. Like, it's amazing going around expos and having fans come up to you and stuff and meeting people, but I still get like goosebumps when I'm around like guys like Mark Felix and the Stoltmans and stuff. Like, I mean, I've competed against them many times, but it just feels crazy to me that like there's people come and say hello, and it means the world to me. So yeah, huge thank you to everyone out there that's comes up to me and says hello. Right, you can pick one strongman training partner: Eddie Hall, Mitch Hooper, or Tom Stoltman. Who are you picking? It's a really good question, actually. I would probably go with Tom Stoltman, I think. I mean, current world's strongest man. I love his style of training. It looked like where they at up in the Scotland Highlands, like it's just a dream. Like they just work hard as well. No disrespect to the other two. I love them both as well. I think they're great for the sport, but Tom Stoltman's my sort of strongman hero at the minute. I think he's a legend. So any chance to go train with Stoltman's, I'll be straight there. If you could choose one song to train to for a year, what would you pick? So for me, like when I train, I listen to a lot of metal. I don't know if there's any songs I could listen to over and over again that's not Life is a Highway, to be honest. Like, or I think it's got to be. But to be honest, any generic metal for me, and I'm happy. But Life is a Highway is just the goated song. Any advice on strongman beginners? Any do's or don'ts? So for me, and I say this to everyone, it's the approach Loz ingrained on me as well when I started. Get yourself in competitions and just enjoy it for the first few years, first few comps. Just get yourself in as many competitions as you can, do as many different events as you can, meet as many people as you can, and just enjoy it. If you come into this sport setting goals, like I want to be world's strongest man in 5 years, you're setting yourself up to fail. Like, just do the sport because you enjoy it. Make as many friends in the sport as you can, and just see where it takes you. Just keep focusing on yourself, get better each week, and try not to worry about what other people are doing. Just focus on your own journey, and just enjoy your training and make sure you're getting stronger, basically. If you could only pick 5 exercises to do for a whole year to get strong as you can, what are you picking? I would keep a deadlift, certainly a hinge, so I would keep a deadlift. I'd keep a good morning. I would keep an overhead of some sort, probably a strict log press, something like that, or I quite like a seated pin press as well for building shoulder strength. So let's chuck both of them in, because let's be honest, like the more shoulder work, the better. And then probably a front squat as well. Get something. I think front squat's got huge carryover. It's one of my worst events. So for me, like building a big front squat is just as important as building a deadlift at the minute. So yeah, I'll go with those 5. Do you play any other sports outside of strongman? So, for those that don't know me, I'm a pretty useless sportsman, to be honest. Like at school, obviously back in the day, I was a long distance runner. I used to do football and rugby for PE. Absolutely hated them. A lot of the time, the PE teacher would just let me go for a run and do that instead. In my downtime, me and my best mate, we go and play a lot of snooker. We probably do that once a week now, actually. We're absolutely terrible. I think I've got a high break of about 30, but that for me is like probably my second favourite sport, weirdly. I don't think a lot of people know that, to be fair, but I find it balances out the strongmen really well. Like, we can just go chill, switch off completely and hit a few balls around. And I usually beat them a lot of the time, so that's another thing with me. Like, I'm so over competitive with anything, so if I lose that, it's like the end of the world. Like, so yeah, snooker keeps me switched on, but it's also like, it lets you chill out a little bit, so let's go with that. Right guys, thank you for sending in your questions. We're probably going to do a few of these, so check out all our other videos. Make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.